Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. We have Homesteaders Life and their Beneficiary Liquidity Plan. We have Phil and Amy on the line with us. You're going to get a whole lot out of this webinar. I know it. I am going to go through the IAMS commercial here. I can see everybody that is signed in. I've got some brand new agents. I've got some agents that I work with a lot. So we'll go through this and then we'll get started. If you are brand new to IAMS, newly contracted, we have great incentives to get you writing business with us. The new producer builder starts for the very first 6 months that you're contracted with us. For the 100,000 level, that's going to equal annuity premium or single premium life, which is what we're going to be talking about today. The Homesteaders Life is going to count as single premium life production with us, all the way up to the $1 million level. And for target premium on life, that's going to be 10%. So 10,000 of target or 100,000 of target premium. You can see the different things. It could be cash. It could be a iPad. There are marketing incentives, all kinds of things. But this is a great incentive to get you started with the IAMS and realize all the aspects of doing business with the IAMS. So do take advantage of that. We want to thank any agent that sends over a referral as a new agent for us. Our business is like yours, and that the best people that we can work with are people that you qualify as good peeps. So if you have an agent that you know that you respect or a colleague, if you refer them to IAMS when they get contracted, that's a $50 one-time bonus. And then thousands of dollars off of their production. You can see the different percentage points based on what they are writing, and a combination of all of them. That is not a haircut off their top level commissions that they're going to get through IAMS. That is out of IAMS pocket. I have some agents that refer agents to us that this is their marketing dollars for the rest of the year. This is what they base it off, are agents that they refer to us, and the added bonus of them doing business with them, and that's kind of their little kitty for their marketing money. But we do offer marketing reimbursements, and for every 100,000 of FIA, that's going to be 100 of marketing reimbursement. SBL, which again is what we're talking about today, every 100,000 is going to equal 200, and 10,000 of life target is going to be 200. We'll go into the presentation further. I'll tell you some of the best ways that you can spend those marketing dollars. But if you're doing things that you like for marketing, this can be utilized, and there's some services through IAMS that make the dollar go a little bit further with our creative services that we'll go through as well. We offer back office support. I've been with several IMOs, and everybody touts that. They talk about that, about offering the back office support. We do it the best. I am confident of that, from getting contracted to talking about a case, designing it, quotes, to getting applications submitted. Our case management is top notch about following up on the cases and making sure we're getting them issued, delivered, and paid. From there, we are going to also service it on the back end to make sure if you have beneficiary changes, withdrawals, loans, anything like that, that we can help out with. You're going to be talking with the best directors in life and annuity in the industry to help with case design. You have access to our website for forms, contracting, quotes, all of that, and we do offer paperless contracting, which makes the contracting process a lot easier, quicker, so we can pick products and write business pretty much immediately. Our website is IAMSinc.com. If you have not gone there before, do that today. Get registered. It will tell you that it takes about 24 hours to get approved. that isn't accurate, you're going to get a confirmation email, which likely will go into your junk mail. Okay it, then you're going to have access to our sales tools. There's a sales resource library on there that's phenomenal. You're going to always have access to any kind of forms, underwriting guidelines. My favorite thing on there is going to be the sales resource library. We've got our term quoter, final expense quoter, industry links, and all the current life and annuity news. So can you still hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay, good deal. And then, you know, the way of the world is that we submit business using some kind of electronic platform. We don't always have to do that. We do still have companies that offer paper applications. Luma is going to be our annuity platform. That's great because it has quoting capabilities. It can keep track of your business that you're getting ready to submit, and then after submission. Firelight was how we used to do annuity business, and now Firelight is in conjunction with Luma. You do have to register for Luma to be able to use it, and Firelight. We have Firelight still because there's a couple of life insurance companies that are processed through Firelight. The majority of them go through iPipeline. You might have seen them as eApp solutions. When you register for our website, you're automatically registered for iPipeline, and I can show you where to find that platform. And then Sunfire is going to be our Medicare business. Creative services is one of the best things at IMES. We have a wonderful, talented team of creative services from copyright, logo design, web design, turnkey solutions. Really, we're only limited by imagination by our skilled creative services team to help out. The wonderful thing about them is that they are definitely in the financial services world. So we're not recreating the wheel every time when we're coming up with content. And those marketing dollars go a long way with using their services. So please take advantage of that or inquire about our creative services. If you have not done it before, we offer a complimentary marketing analysis that can be done with either your annuity marketer or your life insurance marketer or together. But that's going to give you a snapshot of where your marketing is, and it could be absolutely nothing doing nothing for marketing, or some things are implemented. We've got a website. And we take an analysis of that and see where you want to go in the future and what we might want to implement to get to those goals. It is a free service. It's totally worth it to take the time to do that, to get some ideas on marketing. So please reach out to either your life or annuity director. IMES Wealth Management rounds out all of the services that we do for our advisors. Anybody knows that when you add lines of services, that creates more sticky business and client retention, generational business that you're going to get. So if you are primarily annuity producer, adding in life insurance or disability, long-term care is going to help. If you're life, adding annuities, long-term care or disability is going to improve retention. And then managed money, wealth management is another key component of that. It's also a great way to earn managed fees on a monthly basis. It's a good way to get a steady revenue into your business, and most importantly, strengthen the relationship. And that can be from somebody that's ground zero trying to start into wealth management. We can help with those advisors, all those up to very experienced wealth managers working with IMES. We have our life and annuity academies that have wrapped up for the year. So they wrapped up in September, but in the spring of 2025, we will be announcing those dates again. Those are sponsored by some of our top carriers. A 2.5-day seminar, usually in Omaha, Nebraska. Wonderful way to meet other advisors over all 50 states to learn what they're doing in their business that you could implement in your own. You're going to hear from our top producers about what's working in their business. You're going to get the best sales ideas and strategies. learning how to brand your business, all the things. So if you are interested in the upcoming dates, please reach out to your life and annuity directors and let them know that you're interested in knowing what qualifies you to attend this program. Our trip this year is Trek to Quebec. We keep our qualification period long. It's an 18-month qualifier, so there's plenty of time to still qualify for this trip. Started in January of this year and will wrap up in June of next year. Life, annuity, life, long-term care, single premium life, production all counts towards the points for Trek for Quebec. If you are wanting to make sure you earn that trip, talk with your directors because they can help you figure out what kind of production needs to be done on a monthly basis going forward so that you're going to be on pace to meet that trip. And then please follow us on Facebook like us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn. All the webinars that we do oftentimes come up. I notice them on both LinkedIn and Facebook, so definitely do that. I'm excited to talk with Phil and Amy today. This is something that nobody is talking about. This is a way to make you look way different as an advisor. It's going to uncover cash flow, more opportunities to sell life and annuity production by simply adding something into your sales process that is extremely easy to do. Single premium life gives you great, it pays a great commission. That's, it's easy to issue. The application process is super easy. All the things, but more importantly, it's going to lead to so many other sales opportunities. That's why we need to be talking about that. So I will pass it off to Phil and Amy.
Well, thank you so much, Beth. And, my name is Phil Graham. Amy Bloom is on the call with us. She runs our business development. She's going to talk a little about implementation towards the end, but to start, I want everybody to kind of imagine with me for a moment that you're a recovering annuity addict and you wake up one day and you see a statistic that there's somewhere between 80 and 100 trillion dollars with a T that is going to transfer hands over the next 25 years. That's pretty exciting. That annuity addict was me. The first 20 years of my career, I did over $22 billion of annuities and have been outside of that world for the past 7 years with this solution because I woke up and saw that exciting statistic. But what really pushed us to design the solution that we're going to share today was an article from wealthmanagement.com that said that over 66% of beneficiaries will fire their parents' advisor immediately upon inheriting wealth. I went, uh-oh, because all my friends in this industry were doing annuities. They were doing AUM, like what Beth was talking about. And if 66% of those assets that they manage start walking out the door, you can't refill that proverbial bucket fast enough, right? Like you can't get enough new assets to solve that problem. So I wanted to know why. And that's where we set off on this journey. The easy answer I found was that most advisors, and I've now interviewed over 10,000 advisors, and I think I can count on one handful the one that have a solution. But the easy answer was that advisors admit they don't have a consistent process for generating a relationship with the beneficiaries before mom and dad pass away. And I'm not talking about onesie twosie relations. I'm talking about a consistent process to make sure that every beneficiary is in line and has been introduced before mom and dad pass away. I'm like, it's got to be more than that. I understand they don't have a relationship, but gosh, the kids are going to inherit $500,000, million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever the number is that you managed. I would think they'd be happy. But we dug a little bit deeper. And I truly believe the death claims process is a major contributing factor to why the beneficiaries fire you as the agent or advisor. So let's talk about real quick what happens at death. So mom passes away, beneficiary calls your office, and some variation of this conversation is what happens. You know, hey, Mr. and Miss Advisor, mom just passed. Every advisor says about the same thing. Oh my gosh, we're so sorry for your loss. We loved your mother. She was a great client. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Sound familiar? And then almost immediately, either because they want it, need it, or a combination of both, the beneficiaries go, well, yeah, your mom's agent, your mom's advisor, we need money now. And the multi-million-dollar question is, get the beneficiaries access to money immediately within 24 to 48 hours of mom's death? No, you can't. Why not? What's the piece of paper other than a claim form? A death certificate. Now, Amy has the stats on every state, how long it takes on average to get a certified copy of the death certificate. But what we've realized in 7 years and doing tens and tens of thousands of these programs and plans, my facts don't trump your perceptions. Your perception is my reality. So I ask everybody how long they think it takes to get a certified copy of a death certificate. Even though I have the numbers, I work off that. The national average is 2 to 3 weeks. Some states are much longer. There's all kinds of scenarios that make it go longer, but best case scenario, 2 to 3 weeks. Then we're processing the claim. Some companies are easily 20 business days. That's another month. Best case scenario, 30 days, probably 45, 60, 90 days before the family gets access to any money. When you add the fact they can't get to any money, compounded by the fact that you don't have a relationship, it's the kiss of death and that money walks out the door. But the good news is it doesn't cost anything for families to fix the problem. I'm going to say that again because I think that is the key to this presentation. It does not cost anything to fix the problem. Now, I know you're thinking, well, Phil, they got to buy a policy or they got to buy something. Yes, they have to set up an account and allocate money to the account. But we are not buying extra inheritance to solve the problem. But before we get into the solution, let me answer some objections that we get primarily from advisors. Clients don't have these same objections, but it's what might be going through your head. And again, the benefits of only doing one thing tens and tens of thousands of times is you know what everybody's going to say in the process. So here's some of the objections we get. Well, Phil, I've allocated money to annuities and life insurance. We're good. Well, I already told you I love annuities. I consider myself a recovered annuity addict, and I also love life insurance. They're both amazing tools and do some amazing things. But the one thing they don't do is create immediate liquidity because they need a death certificate and a claims process in order for the family to access the money. Well, Phil, we went down to the bank or we went to IMS Wealth Management and we set up all of our accounts with TOD or POD, transfer on death or payable on death. I love TOD, POD. And by the way, I recommend that all of your non-beneficiary accounts, they need to have a TOD or POD because that does what? It avoids probate. But what it does not do is give the family immediate access to the money because it requires a death certificate and the financial institution has to release the funds. So it's great, but doesn't create immediate liquidity. Well, Phil, we met with our estate planning attorney and we set up a living trust. And Johnny, our son, who's the executor, was named successor trustee, and we did title the assets and did all the stuff we're supposed to do. I love estate planning. I think a living trust or revocable trust is a great way to make sure your money passes the way in which you want it to pass. And I love that Johnny's your successor trustee. what piece of paper does Johnny need to take to the estate planning attorney to start the process of actually becoming the successor trustee when you die? A death certificate. You see a trend here? So a living trust is an amazing estate planning tool, but is not designed to create immediate liquidity and does not solve that piece of the estate plan. All right, Phil, I got another one. The same time we set up a living trust and did our wills and that, we also set Johnny up as financial power of attorney. Again, I think that's a great tool. However, financial power of attorney ceases to exist and dies with you. It does not work after death. So although it's a great part of your estate plan, it does not create immediate liquidity. Well, Phil, what about these final expense plans I've seen? Well, if you read the fine print, even the ones that say they pay claims quickly, asterisk, you look at the asterisk, it says after we've received all the claim paperwork, including a certified copy of the death certificate. So it will not be there immediately. Now I can go on and on and on, but those are the main ones. But here's the good news. It doesn't cost anything to fix the problem. So let's talk about who the ideal client is. It's easier actually to tell you who's not an ideal client. So let's reverse that. I'm going to tell you the two types of people that do not need a beneficiary liquidity plan. Type client number one, you can just take these people off your list. Clients that don't have any money. Because remember, I said we're not buying more of anything, right? So they have to already have some dollar amount. Doesn't have to be big. Some dollar amount earmarked for inheritance. So if they don't have any money, I'm guessing they're probably not your client to begin with, but if they don't have any money, I can't help them because we don't create wealth. We just make it liquid. So that's type client number one that does not need a BLP because they don't have any money. Client number two doesn't like or care about their beneficiaries. Phil, I'll be dead. What do I care? They can just figure it out. I can't fix that either. But guess what? The majority of the clients and the people that you're seeing have some sort of monies that they'd like to pass to their family. And the majority of them actually care. So we're going to talk about a little bit later about how we've perfected our conversation for you to integrate this into your business without disrupting everything else you're doing. Amy's going to go over that. But I'm going to talk about what the solution is. How do we solve this? I really wish I could sit here and tell you that I created some kind of super complicated scientific mathematical formula that I'm like Elon Musk of death claims. Not the case. This is very simple. In this country, whether you're being buried or cremated, you end up in front of a licensed funeral director. The reason we don't need a death certificate is because the funeral director tells us you died. That's our secret sauce. Now, here's our delivery vessel. We use a single premium, guaranteed issue, fixed whole life insurance contract with a 119-year-old A-rated mutual insurance company. I know I said the word life insurance, but think of it not like IUL or traditional whole life or other products you've sold. Think of it like a savings account, but instead of it being at the bank, it's at the insurance company. It grows tax deferred, currently at 3.25%, which is about a 5% tax equivalent yield. But it also passes tax free because it's life insurance. And then the secret sauce of why it all works is that we don't require a death certificate to pay out the claim. So the family gets access to the money immediately as soon as you end up at the funeral home, which is the first place you go. Super simple, not complicated. We're not asking clients to buy anything extra. This is simply reallocating a small piece of what they're planning on leaving inheritance from their left pocket to their right pocket, so that now on one of the worst days of their family's life, the day they pass away, we eliminated the immediate financial burden by giving them access to monies they were ultimately going to inherit anyways. So for me, if I'm talking to somebody that cares about their family and has any money at all, and by the way, the more money people have, the more they need a beneficiary liquidity plan, because the longer it takes to unwind their estate when it's in that vacuum period. But if I'm in front of somebody that has money and cares about their family, if I can truly get them to understand that it doesn't cost anything to fix the problem, and that we're just reallocating some of the monies that they already have, I really have a hard time understanding why somebody wouldn't fix it. And one of the quotes we use a lot is, if it doesn't cost anything to fix the problem, why would you want to make it hard for your family? Here's another great question for people. Are you planning on your kids paying for your funeral? Most people would say, well, no, I don't want my kids to have to pay for my funeral. Well, the way your plan is set up today, they're going to be the ones paying for it and trying to get reimbursed from the estate through probate or through their siblings. It causes a lot of family disagreements, arguments, fractures. And why we're so passionate about this is the majority of the time there was money there that mom or dad thought the kids would be able to access, but they just didn't know. And if all they would have done was reallocate it into the BLP, we would have solved that problem, and they didn't have to leave any extra money to their family. It was the same money, just pre-allocated, without having to assign to a funeral home, without having to pick out their casket, just by simply reallocating the monies. And over the last 7 years, we've perfected the script. We've perfected the process of getting the client to admit it, that they care about their family. And I think, Amy, your audio might be on, because I would love for you, if we can hear you, to share kind of our process from the survey to our training platform and the ways that you help them kind of get onboarded and have pretty much immediate success.
Sure, absolutely. And I apologize, for some reason it's not picking up my webcam, so I apologize for that.
I can hear you good, so that's perfect.
Okay, good. So basically the onboarding process is once you get appointed, you're going to get your 5-digit GenBridge number, and then you're going to schedule an onboarding session with me. And that typically goes an hour, sometimes over an hour. We go into answering your questions, talking about the product. And I've changed our playbook to pretty much make it a plug and play product for you. A couple things Phil had mentioned. You really have an exclusive product here. And I'm going to share a story, and it's very dear to my heart. I just lost my brother about 2 months ago. And I see the need for this product. And if you're not offering this product to your clients, you're really doing a disservice, not only to them, but to yourselves. Because I see how important this product is by going through the pain and suffering and then trying to figure out how to pay for everything on the back end. Please, please, please offer it to your clients. It's an easy product. You're not selling anything. Like Phil said, you're just taking assets that are non-liquid, taking a small portion of those assets and putting them into something that is a liquid vehicle where we can get the money within 24 to 48 hours. Extremely important. It will be, I promise you, the most rewarding thing you do in your career. Not only that, you're going to feel better about yourselves because you're able to help your clients' beneficiaries. You know, we call it the hero bridge. If you can do that, in my opinion, you're a superhero. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. What I do is I have pretty much incorporated email templates to send out the survey. You put it into your email vendor, send it out. Does it work? Okay, I had an advisor send it out. They had 32 responses back in a week. I don't recommend sending out more than 10 at a time during a week. They had 21 of those came back in the first 24 hours. Okay, to the tune of, the very last question we ask is, how much money do you feel your beneficiaries would need? To the tune of $285,000 up to $550,000. And that was only 16 out of the 32. The remaining 17 said they were uncertain. If you follow up on those, so the process is this: send out the survey, 10 a week. You should get back at least a minimum of 5. You should be able to write 2 or 3 out of those 5. Okay. In this advisor's case, that would have been $28,500 in commission off of 17 clients, minimum. $55,000 maximum, based on what their clients were telling them they would need for their family. I'm sure all of you could probably live with that kind of commission. So my role is to get you up and running. We have the survey template. I have put together the script. I don't call it a sales script because you're really not selling anything, but it does give you my story about my brother. Stories resonate with clients. They understand that. They don't want their family to have to go through what I went through or what you may have gone through. I give you a follow-up email template to send to them if you did meet with them. I give you a sign-off form because if they chose not to take the BLP, you want something in your file. And not only that, anytime a client has a sign-off form, they're going to come back and say, maybe I need to revisit this. If they feel it's this important that I have to sign off, I better rethink it. Okay, so I give you a follow-up email for that. So I have pretty much everything. We have videos, we have sales aids, sales tools, everything to make it as easy and seamless as possible. And that's what my role is to help you do that.
Yeah, I think, Amy, you said a couple things in there that I want to kind of repoint out is everything's turnkey. We've kind of perfected the process. So the survey gets the clients to admit they care about their family. We already know they care, right? Like 99% of people care, but I want them to admit it. So it gets them to do that. It gets them to admit they don't want to be a burden. And then, like Amy pointed out, they tell us the dollar amount that they'd want their family to access, and we have it scripted on exactly how that leads into it. We have it in paper version. We have the email version. We have a great laminated version that you can have in the office as well. The key, though, is utilizing the survey, not trying to have the conversation as simple as it sounds without getting the survey answers first. And then our eApp, it's 3 pages. Beth was we were telling us earlier, this had a new advisor write an app, and he was like, I think I did it wrong. And she was like, well, why? Well, because it didn't seem like enough pages. But that's by design. There's no compliance, no suitability, no health questions. The only kick out is you can't be 91 years old. And you can't be in New York. Now, you can have a New York residence, but have a Florida address. There's a lot of ways we can kind of work around that. But we're in all 49 states except New York. We can issue on any client up to age 90, not 91. The minimum to start's $2,500. The maximum normally is around $150. We can do higher, but it would be a rare situation that a client would actually need more than $150,000 in this solution. We want you to put more of the money in annuities and AUM. We only want to put the amount in that we think the family's going to need for that 30, 60, 90 days while the estate is in that vacuum period. There's no need to overfund it. You can put the other money into other vehicles. We have a training on stacking policies. We have training on where's the money coming from. You know, because of my annuity background, a lot of our business comes from 10% free withdrawals from advisors and annuity portfolio. We'll take some money from AUM, checking savings all over the place. But we have a whole process on how to fund it. But where you start is you get with IMS, Beth and the team. They will get you contracted. Amy and I work for the insurance company, which is Homesteaders Life. Like I said, a 119-year-old A-rated mutual company out of Des Moines, Iowa, the center of the insurance universe. And to put something into perspective, last year, 2023, we paid over 69,000 claims without a death certificate. In 2022, I think it was 67,000 claims. This year, we're going to pay over 70,000 claims without a death certificate. This is what we do. We consider ourselves a claims company first that uses insurance as the tool and the vessel to actually deliver that for families. But we are a claims company. And by being mutual, the policyholder and their beneficiaries always come first. Oh my gosh, I skipped over the commission part. How dare me? The commission is going to be higher typically than what you're used to on annuities. But keep in mind, our average premium is probably smaller than what you typically write on the annuity side. So it's 10%, 0 to age 75. That's higher than most annuities, right? It does go down 76 to 80. It goes to 7.5. 81 to 85, it's 5%. 86 to 90, it's 2.5%. Obviously, we all know the reasons why commissions go down over time. But the bulk of your clients will, our average issue age, we've tracked it for the last 7 years, is 72. So the bulk of our business does fall in that 10% range. So if you look at an average premium of $25,000 to $30,000, that's $2,500 to $3,000 from an existing client by having a 15-minute conversation using our 5-question survey and simply reallocating some of the assets they already have, not having them to buy more of anything, and solving a problem that they really want solved. But Beth and the team at IMES are awesome. This does count towards the trip. All their other incentives under that single premium category on the single premium life side, we would love the opportunity to earn your business. And Beth, I don't know if you want to say anything kind of to wrap things up.
Yes. I can tell you there is absolutely no one that you're going to come across as another agent in competition that is going to talk about this ever. You will be the one talking about it. And if they bring it up to another advisor that you offered it, that other advisor is going to have no clue what you're talking about. So this is a great a way to make you different, an added service. It takes literally no extra time to add it in. And I know that you're going to find more annuity and life insurance sales, yes, because there's no way, I call it, I'm not going to tell you money. Everybody has their I'm not going to tell you money. And it's usually just what Phil said. It's because they have money in checking or whatever that they think their beneficiaries are going to be privy to during that time, and they don't. So when you can point that out and you can safeguard that, it opens up all kinds of different accounts and things that you can help them with on the annuity and life insurance. So that's immediately more sales by just implementing this sales idea. But then the generational part is so key, because if you've ever delivered a death claim, and I have, when you lose the annuity sale, that is a punch in the gut. Has happened to me. Yep. So this is a great way to make sure that's not going to happen. And then the other thing is that you're talking about, like, who's going to be getting that money in those first 48 hours? Who are those people? And it gives you an opportunity to reach out to them, introduce yourself, and say, when something happens, I'm the first person you talk to. And right away, that's an established relationship that you can build off of as well. So this is so simple to add in as far as the application process and all that, but even the survey is so short. Even if you're delivering an annuity or a life insurance, you should at minimum add this in and say, and by the way, I want to ask you these 5 questions. Or if you're doing it with a fact finder, that could work too. But that's really all I have to say about it. The commission's good. The production credit with IMES is good. It's a great new producer bonus, good for the trip all around. It's a winner. And I know it's going to find you other sales that you're wanting to achieve. But facility, and Amy, by the way, is amazing. I love her so much. As far as the onboarding, no other company does that anymore. The fact that you spend so much time with people to get them ready to go with this product is really awesome. Anyway, give the life insurance sales directors a call. We can definitely answer any more questions that you want, but this is a simple, easy thing to add that you can really build much more into your practice by doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Beth, so much for having us. Thank you, Amy, for jumping on as well. I really appreciate it. And we appreciate the relationship with IMES. And if we can do anything to help anybody, reach out to the IMES team and they'll get you started and get you connected with us, get you ready to go. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye.